Here are 5 key habits every amateur golfer can learn from the pros.
The first thing that I really notice if you watch the pro golfers is they just take their time. You never get a sense that they're rushing. Yeah, they're paying attention to things, but they're walking, just typical average speed. They're walking in a relaxed manner. They get up to their ball and they kind of set their clubs up. They start to talk with their caddy like just they're having a casual conversation. And then eventually go, okay, I'm going to hit a shot. And they hit it and they kind of watch where it goes, put the club back and go on. They are always in an unrushed manner. What do we do as amateurs? We push, we try, we get stressed, we get tense, angry. We carry one shot to the next shot. We hurry. All of these things that the pros don't do. And I think they actually sabotage all of the work that we do on the range to have a quality tempo swing. And in the end, they're not playing fast, but they're also not playing slow. They've just determined a normal process for unrushed focus and then this nice, enjoyable rhythm of rest back into unrushed focus. The number 2 observation that I had, the pros, they never abandon their routines. And their routines are the pathway to what I call discipline freedom. And so their routines have this way of bringing out the best in them. It gives them the freedom to execute everything that they've worked on in the range, all of their processes, and to execute those processes at the very highest level, because they're not being clouded by monkey mind that's, hitting them about all of the things that are going on around them outside of the ropes and, oh, this gust of wind came up and, oh, the leaderboard just changed. They are so settled in their routines that allow them to then operate at their best. The pros have this tremendous ability to control their emotions. Controlling their emotions doesn't mean that they don't have emotions. Each pro has, I think, a way of managing their emotions that works for them, that enables them to experience a round without their emotions sabotaging their performance. And that's different for each pro. Tiger's habit, if we're telling the story correctly, he has a 10-foot circle that he's allowed himself to get angry, and that when he walks outside of that circle after the shot, he has to let it go. He's not telling himself, I'm not going to get angry. He's saying, I'm going to contain that in a very manageable way such that it's not going to sabotage my shot. Others manage their emotions simply by choosing not to let anger get into their games. I think each person would do the best, as I think the pros have done, of saying, if I control, manage, have parameters around my emotions, then I allow myself to play the best. So now we get to what I would consider the 4th lesson, giving attention to each shot. I love it when I hear pros talking about their short game. And what they're giving tremendous focus to is, I'm not trying to hit kind of just a general bump and run shot. I'm hitting a bump and run shot that is going to land on the green at this exact spot with this amount of spin and this amount of height. They're thinking about it so precisely, and then they step in and then they just execute. If we could learn to come to a precise to-the-yard distance that we're trying to hit it, that factors in elevation, that factors in wind, that factors in temperature, that factors in the landing spot and how much the shot is likely to release based on the club. And we now are saying, I'm trying to hit this shot 124 yards. The shot might be only 115, but I'm hitting a 124-yard shot. One more, you could argue this is the most important, but what really separates the pros is their ability to take some of these things and do it their own way, to have their own personality behind it, to have their own strategy behind it, to do everything from their routine to their strategy to their emotions to the way they talk to their caddies. They all have their own way of going about it. And I think one of the beauties of what we're talking about and of the game of golf is finding our own way of doing it. The best pros really maximize this part. They are who they are. I think Bryson, for instance, would say he kind of came into his own as he let himself be himself. And everybody said, well, you can do that, but you're going to ruin your golf game. And then he went to the 2020 U.S. Open. U.S. Open is the one place you can't overpower because they have those, 8-inch tall roughs. And they said, if anybody is not going to excel, Bryson can't do it. Well, he just completely overpowered it, and he ran away with the whole tournament. He played it his way. I think if you really dug down into almost every pro, they have their game. They may look kind of similar, but they could tell you what is very specific to their game. I would encourage people to take one and say, this is the one that I really have the opportunity to grow in. And even just take a round of golf and say, for this round of golf, I'm going to give particular focus to this part of it. Might be your emotions, it might be your pace of play, the focus with a rhythm of rest, but pick one of them and say, yeah, for this round of golf, I'm going to still have fun with my friends and everything else, and I'm going to still try, but this is what's going to be kind of my focus for this round of golf.